Hey guys, I'm just waiting for it to buffer because it always does this like regrouping when I go live. How is everybody doing tonight? Happy Saturday. Listen, first and foremost, I look a mess. You're going to have to excuse it. We picked up another lot tonight. So I just moved a whole U-Haul full of vintage equipment, just my husband and I. I'm talking about, we had a 15-foot U-Haul. So we went and picked all that stuff up and then we brought it back home. And the way that our house is set up, it is so ridiculous. First of all, the porch you walk up on, the door opens the wrong way. So we can't like walk up the porch from the U-Haul. We have to go around the back of the house, up the back steps, into the sliding doors, down into the basement, because he has all of his vintage gear downstairs. So I just moved an entire U-Haul full of vintage equipment, just me and Brian. So I look a hot mess. This is no makeup, crazy hair. But first of all, check out how crazy thick my hair is getting. I don't even know what to do with it. I just need it to grow out so it doesn't look like a crazy bowl cut. But I am finally up live, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something because mental health is always important, obviously. But this time of year, it is so vital to check on yourself, to check on your friends. And in this season, this beautiful season, I love Christmas, the season of giving, the season of being around people, surrounded with people that we love. We are so, correct me if I'm wrong, but this time of year, we get so insanely focused on making everybody else happy, making sure all of our family and friends and loved ones have everything that they need. When is the last time, serious question here, when's the last time you asked yourself how you're doing? Or somebody asked you how you were doing? When's the last time you took a real, not a superficial, I'm fine, but a real look at how you feel? And I did put a disclaimer. Hi, Jennifer. I did put a disclaimer about music because, again, we just picked up an entire lot of gear. So my husband has been downstairs organizing everything and blaring music. So,
why aren't you down there helping me, girl? What's up?
Listen, I helped you all day, my love.
Thank you. Couldn't have done it without you, honestly.
Oh, I know. I am the super buff. I'm like the Hulk.
Putting guns on this girl.
Like the Hulk.
Cry.
I lifted and carried and brought up and downstairs so much stuff.
150-pound speaker on each shoulder.
No, no. But I did carry a lot of stuff. A lot.
Thank you, babe.
I love you. Okay. Nobody wants to watch us make out.
Don't be forcing me, girl. You force my hand.
Oh, my Lanta. Oh, I think the day is getting to us. So, anyways, when is the last time that you seriously took a look at yourself and asked yourself how you feel? Or somebody genuinely asked you how you're doing and you didn't respond with that superficial, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm busy, right? The same things that we always say. When's the last time you really honestly thought about what you're eating, how you're sleeping, your anxiety level, how your body feels, how your mind feels, how your heart feels. And, another thing with the holidays is we talk about how magical it is. We talk about how beautiful it is. We talk about all the beautiful parts of the holiday season, but we don't always talk about the despair, the anguish, the missing people, the empty seats at your table, the family drama. We don't always talk about the stuff that sits with us when we're alone. And it's easy to stay busy. It's easy to keep yourself occupied. And it's easy to stay busy, but at the end of the day, when you go to bed or you're in the shower and you're alone and you're finally decompressing, it all hits you. The financial aspect, the physical aspect, just your mental health in general can really, really be tested this time of year. And I don't think we talk about it enough. Because number one, how many of you are my strong friends? I tend to have strong friends, right? I bet a lot of you on here are my strong friends. You're the people that help others. You're the people that listen when your friends need help. You're the people that are the givers, right? You take care of people. You love on people. You give people all of you. When's the last time you did that for yourself? And I think that it's it's so important for everyone to remind themselves that, number one, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to miss people. It's okay to acknowledge the fact that maybe you aren't where you should be. Maybe your mental health is not good. And this time of year, it's when people, and it's little things, you guys. And if it's not you, maybe this video can help someone you know, because it might be someone else. When you find your strong friends get quiet, maybe they post a lot on social media or you guys message a lot. When they get silent, listen for that silence. Okay? It's not just people being busy. A lot of times that silence means they're hurting. And the problem with my strong friends, the problem with my strong people is that when we hurt, when we're going through something, we talk ourselves out of asking for help. And I'm going to tell you why. It's number one, we don't like feeling like we're a burden on other people. We have no problem helping a million other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we have a problem admitting that we're not okay and we need help, because it makes us feel weak. Now, our loved ones won't look at us like we're weak, right? If someone came to you and said, I'm not okay, like I need somebody right now, you would never look at them like they were weak, right? You would look at that as an incredible strength. But for some reason, when it's ourselves, when it's us hurting, we feel like we would be a burden on someone for saying anything, that we would bring them down, that we would put our problems onto someone else and cause them problems, that we feel like it's not okay. And the problem with that is it's very lonely. It's very lonely to be in the shower, bawling your eyes out because you feel so alone. You might be surrounded with a million people, but sometimes when you're in that headspace, you feel so utterly alone and you feel so misunderstood. You feel like nobody is going to relate to you, that if you say you might have a beautiful life, you have a beautiful family, you have beautiful babies, you have a good job, like, you know, you're paying your bills, you're doing the dang thing. So you feel like if you say that you're not okay, that you're going to be looked at like, what's so bad about your life, right? And these are the things we tell ourselves. You know, how often have you said like, I can't even say anything because they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like I have beautiful kids and I have a job and, you know, there's people way worse than me. How many of you use that? How many of you have said somebody else has it way worse than me? Or maybe your friend's going through something, the friend that you would normally confide in, but they're going through something and you feel like your burdens are so much smaller and you should be able to handle them on your own. And it's very lonely being the strong friend. It's so incredibly draining because you give so much of yourself all the time. And even though that brings you pleasure, that makes you feel good inside, it also empties your cup and it leaves nothing for you. And it's really hard because sometimes when we go silent, because we're crawled in our own head, because sometimes getting up and taking a shower is a damn celebration. Sometimes brushing your hair is like you are clapping yourself on the back just for getting out of bed and brushing your teeth, right? Sometimes that is strength. And we get silent because we don't want to be a burden, because other people won't understand us, because we're supposed to be the strong ones, because we have a good life and we're going to sound like whiners if we complain. All of these things run through our head. And here's the reality of it, guys. When you feel like pulling away and you feel like burying your head underneath the pillows and you feel like checking out, that is the time that you need to grab onto somebody. It really and truly is. When your mind is telling you that no one understands you and you just need to be alone, that is a signal and a sign that you need other people to lift you up. And it might not be pretty. Sometimes we have shitty friends, and sometimes the people we think we can count on, we can't. And sometimes it takes all of our strength to ask for help. And then when we do that and we don't get the help that we were expecting, it's devastating. Like, it's freaking devastating. But you have to lean in, you guys. We can't do this without each other. And mental health is a real, real priority. And you can't feel like a burden for needing help, because I can't even tell you the number of times that I needed help. I can't tell you the number of times I was not okay. Like if anybody asked me if I was okay, I would say I was fine. I was busy. That was always my go-to. I'm busy, you know, but I was not okay. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't have the tribe that I do. If I didn't have the people around me that I do that don't take my BS excuses. They don't let me lie to myself or to anybody else. They hold me accountable because you are too important, you guys. You're too important. You're too important to check out. Too many people depend on you. How many people need you in a day? How many people genuinely need you in a day? If you're a parent, oh my gosh, like, do you even poop by yourself? Like, do you even have 5 seconds to take a shower? Can you even shave both of your legs without getting bombarded in the bathroom? And if you're not a parent, what about your job and your significant other or, you know, your pets? All of these things, everybody needs you all the time. And while that's a blessing and you should feel so grateful for it, and you keep telling yourself to feel grateful for it, sometimes the noise is too loud. You can't process it. It's overwhelming. And sometimes you need to be supported. And that is not a weakness. I'm telling you, it's not a weakness. If you are in a hole right now, if any of you have suffered, let me do it this way. If any of you have suffered from depression and anxiety at the same time, let me tell you what that is. When you have depression and anxiety at the same time, you have like 2 halves of your brain battling against each other. You've got 1 half of your brain saying, oh my gosh, I'm so anxious. I have all these things. I have all these things to do. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I didn't get enough accomplished. All these people need me. I feel like I'm overwhelmed. And then you have the other half of your brain that's going, I have no energy or motivation to do any of it. I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be a parent today. I just want to check out. I want to turn the lights off and I just want everybody to go away and I want to be alone. So you have these 2 polar opposite things pulling you in different directions. And I always tell my strong friends, like, listen, you may be Superwoman, but you don't have 8 arms. You can't do all the things or be all the things for all the people. So if you're struggling this holiday season, number 1, know that you can always come to me without judgment. Always. Because there is probably literally nothing that's going on inside of your brain that hasn't went off inside of mine. I have such a screwed up mind. My life has been so crazy. I have thought all the things. Like, I have been so messed up mentally. I have dealt with so many different mental health issues. You will never get judgment from me, ever. Even if I can't relate, even if I don't understand what you're walking through, I will never take it lightly and I will never turn my back on you, and you can come to me in confidence. You will always have a friend, okay? Number 2, you need to learn how to give yourself grace. This was the biggest lesson I have ever learned about my mental health, was giving myself grace. Telling myself it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be human. For some reason, we hold ourselves to this crazy, irrational expectation. We hold ourselves way up here, but yet we expect way down here from everybody else in our life. It's okay if everybody else treats us like crap. It's okay if everybody else bails on us. We're not allowed to do that. And we hold ourselves to these ridiculous, unrealistic expectations. And when we inevitably fail, because you can't be all the places at all the times and you can't do all the things at once. I mean, I know for me as a mom, it's like I work 1,000,000 hours a week to provide for my family, but then I have guilt for not being with my family. Or, you know, it's like I'm never good enough for me. And that's something that I constantly deal with. That's something that I'm constantly reminding myself, I am a good mom. I am a good wife. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to lose my temper. You know, I don't know what I did before this mood patch because I was a freaking mess, you guys. You're human. You're going to fall, and you're going to fall hard sometimes because you have a huge heart, and everything you do massively. You don't go half-assed with anything. Whether it's loving someone, relationships, whatever you do, you go all the way in, right? That's a lot of burden to carry. and you're going to trip and fall. You're going to stumble. And I want you, whenever you're being hard on yourself and you're telling yourself these horrible lies, like you're not good enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're telling yourself all of these horrible lies that are not true. I want you to remind yourself, what would you say to your best friend if they came to you with the same problem? Whatever you're feeling right now inside, if your very best friend in the whole world came to you and told you their feelings, and those were a reflection, that was their feelings, would you tell them that they were stupid or weak? No, you wouldn't. You would grab them up and love on them and tell them that they're perfect just the way they are, that they're perfectly and wonderfully made, and that they're human and it's okay. So you need to learn how to tell yourself that. You need to give yourself grace. That is the biggest tip I can give you. And the next tip is you need to stop trying to do all the things at once. When you get overwhelmed and you get in that really dark place where you feel like everything is too much, the littlest of chores is a heavy weight, right? When you get to that really bad place, the trick to getting out of it is, number one, it's going to take time. And number two, you need to do a little bit at a time. You need to do a little bit at once. Baby steps, guys. So if you're in a bad place right now, start tomorrow by painting your nails or shaving your legs. Let that be your goal. Tomorrow I'm going to shave my legs. Or, if you're one of my dude friends, like maybe tomorrow you're going to go for a walk or do whatever it is that some kind of self-care, baby step, right? You're going to do something small just so you can accomplish it. So you can feel a little bit better about yourself and you can accomplish it. I know one for me is putting on clothes. And I don't mean that like I'm naked all the time. I mean like real clothes. Because when I'm in one of those bad places, I will wear sweats and baggy Brian's t-shirts or hoodies. I look a mess. Sometimes just getting yourself presentable makes you feel better about yourself. And as silly as that sounds, just a little bit of self-care, okay? So the step one is tomorrow, just do one thing. Just do one thing. And once you accomplish it, you will oddly feel this wave of accomplishment. You'll feel like, hot damn, I did it. As silly as that sounds, maybe it's just doing a load of laundry or doing the dishes. Just one thing. Stop putting everything on your plate. Just one dang thing, right? The next step is continuing to add to that plate in a healthy balance, because the reason most of us get to this place where we're very depressed and overwhelmed and empty inside, it's because our plate is so dang loaded. We never intend to not take care of ourselves. We always intend to take care of ourselves, right? But what happens is your kids and your dog and your husband and your job and Christmas and all this stuff keeps getting piled, and somehow you accidentally get buried underneath this pile of stuff and you come in last place because you got to take care of everybody else. So somehow we forget that we're important. We're the most important, and we just get buried. And it's not anything you do intentionally. It's just you and your heart and your beautifulness and you trying to give all of you to everyone else, but you have to fill your own cup first or you're worthless to everybody else and yourself. So like I said, step one, do one act of self-care tomorrow and don't do anything else. Stop putting all those goals on yourself. And then step two is unload that plate. And when you start filling that plate again and daily, you start adding more and more things, make it a healthy balance. So if you add a self-care thing, add a chore. Add a self-care thing, add a chore. And you're never going to have a perfect balance because balance is ridiculous and you're never going to achieve it. But if you can find a healthy balance, right? A little bit of give and take, you'll start to find that you can manage your day. You can get all the things done. And you can start getting rid of the things that don't serve you. Because how many of you do things for other people that you hate? That it drains you. You don't like it at all. But you feel so obligated to other people that you can't form the words no. As much as your heart is screaming inside, I can't do that anymore. I am empty. I can't give anymore. I'm done. No matter how loud you're screaming it inside, you can't do that to somebody else. You can't let them down, right? No, that's wrong. You have to stop doing things that don't serve you. 2020 is the year of perfect vision. You're going to start today. And today you're going to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And tomorrow you're going to be a little bit better than you were today. And just in a little bit of time, what is it, a little over a week later, we're going to hit a new decade. And you're going to start that year knowing your worth, knowing how important you are, knowing that you have people. You have people. You have people that are going to understand, that are going to sympathize with you, and that are going to lift you up. I can't tell you how many times I have had people from my beautiful tribe reach out to me and just tell me, like, I know you're hurting right now. I mean, we just went through a devastating loss in our family. How many of them have reached out to me and just reminded me, you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are strong. Sometimes we need to hear that, because sometimes we look in the mirror and we don't see that in ourselves, and that's okay, right? That's okay. And the same thing with the weather changing seasons. We all go through seasons, and we tend to forget that too. We're always going through seasons. Your hormones change on a daily basis. Your chemical balances change. Everything changes. And you can't expect your mind to be on point all the time with all of these external factors. Stop putting crazy expectations on yourself and be human, because you are a dang good, perfectly made person. You're here for a reason. You make a difference. I know you make a difference in my life. If you're on my Facebook, you make a difference in my life. You're a strong human being, and you deserve nothing but the best. And that includes the best you. So I love you guys. I'm done ranting. I just know that this time of year is brutal. And I am very happy to say I'm in a good place right now, but that could change tomorrow. It changes so quickly that you don't even recognize it's happening. Sometimes all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're empty. You didn't see it coming. It's like a truck hit you out of nowhere. All of a sudden you're just empty. You are a shell of yourself, and you don't even recognize the person in the mirror. And instead of pulling the covers over your head and feeling like a burden to others and feeling like you have no one, reach out. And if it's not to me, reach out to somebody, because there's people that love you, and there's people that will lift you up and not think anything less of you. They will think more of you for asking for that help. Those are the people you want sitting at your table. So I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'm going to go get myself cleaned up, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.